my sovereign world. I am that I am. Some call me Heru. Just want to touch bases with you. Today we're actually going to be going over some definitions and a little detail on sovereignty, sovereign, autonomy, diplomatic immunity, the Foreign Immunities Act, and a couple other different terms, secured party creditor, just to give you some definitions and to give you some little insight on what's really out there available. Like we always, this is the so-called disclaimer that we're not attorneys. We're just here providing education, information, that we all should be doing our own research, period, point blank. No one should have no excuses. We all should do our own research and read it for ourselves. Read it for ourselves and dissect it for ourselves. So then we'll have a more overstanding and understanding of what's really out there. What do I have available for you, us, we the people, so-called. As a matter of fact, speaking of we the people, even that term in itself, we the people as a sovereign, we the people as sovereign individuals are sovereign people, not individuals, excuse my term. Certain things has been putting us in, we've been using this common so-called language, and it's been putting us in the jurisdiction of the USA Corporation. So let me get into it. Basically, it was a term, Brother Nazir kind of hit me too, and it was kind of interesting. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's called civil death. And it was a pretty interesting term, so I was looking it up, and I looked in Black's Law's dictionary, and what came up was this, and this is civil death. It says, in some states, persons convicted of serious crimes are declared to be civilly dead, which means that all rights and privileges of the convicted offender, including the right to contract and to sue and be sued, are forfeited. See civil disabilities. So that's Black's Law's Dictionary, 5th edition, page 223. So I want to kind of give you that eye-opener a little bit. This was a term that was used. The brother had hit me up to this, and then it had a Latin term, and you guys got to forgive me on this, the Latin term, but it's civilator mortis. So that's civiliter, mortus, mortuus, and it says civilly dead. Dead in the view of the law, the condition of one who has lost his civil rights and capacities and is accounted dead in law. See civil dead, and that's Black's Law's Dictionary, 5th edition as well, page 223. So that brought up a very interesting point of view of where we was looking at so-called rights, when we're talking human rights, or when we're talking civil rights, or when we're talking sentient being rights, and that's where we're coming from. Sentient being rights, your creator given rights, not man-made given rights. No, your creator given rights. See, we all gotta really understand. It's also a publication out there called Supreme Treaties. I believe it's called Supreme Treaties, and it talks about your private law, what your law is, who your law belongs to. You make the law. It's only two beings. Well, it's only two things between. Well, it's only nothing between you but you and the Creator. Let's put it like that. It's nothing between you but you and the Creator. So you and the Creator make your own law. No man-made law. I love what the Bible even says, even though I'm not even a Bible thumper or whatnot. I don't even subscribe to religion. But it says this. It says you can't serve two masters. You're going to be loyal to one and you're going to be unloyal to the other. So let's get through the head, people. We got to learn. We got to understand that the U.S. corporation has bamboozled the people, period. He has taken your rights. He has taken your allegiance. Go look that word up, allegiance. And I didn't put that on my list, but that's a big one too. Allegiance and oaths. You know, we got to realize what these terms mean and what we're doing when we're signing that paperwork, when we're signing that Social Security administration for getting an application for that card, or when we're signing that birth certificate. We're literally giving away our rights, our God-given rights, or our creator rights. You know, so these are elements we got to really pay attention to. Like I said before in the beginning of this recording, sovereignty. Sovereign. What is a sovereign? This is also coming from Black's Law's Dictionary, 5th edition, page 1252. It states that a sovereign, a person, body, or state in which independent and supreme authority is vested, a chief ruler with supreme power, a king or the ruler with limited power. See also clipped sovereignty or sovereignty. Clipped sovereignty or sovereignty. Think about that. And that's Black's Law's Dictionary, 1252 as well. And you can look up sovereignty too. So I'm just pointing out references. If you don't, like we always explain all the time, if you want to go out, you want to invest in some things, you want to invest in some tools like any other business or any other venture, you know, you dive into, you definitely got to know what you're talking about. So as always, some references or so-called outlines, formats. You definitely got to go get a Black's Law's Dictionary. What I would recommend is the 5th edition. Any older edition, you can actually have reference to where them words was manufactured. Most of the time, the 5th edition, what I love about it, it actually break down the case laws, show you what case laws was going on certain terms and whatnot, and as well as get a regular dictionary. The American Heritage Dictionary of English Language. I got a few of them. I got a whole bunch of them. Dictionaries, you know, that's a dime a dozen. That's what you need so you can look at the etymology of words, where words come from. You know, in Black's Law's Dictionary, I do prescribe to 1 through 9 pretty much. So I'm always referencing reference 2, and I reference the 5th edition, and then sometimes I go to the 7th edition just to see if any words have been taken out. And usually it's I'm right on point. It usually has been taken out in the last 6, 7, 8, and 9 dictionaries, Black's Law's dictionaries. So the Black's Law's Dictionary, just to break it down a little bit, that's what the lawyers, that's what the attorneys, that's what the judges, that's what all them guys are using. If you want to go, that's what the elite, so-called Illuminati, are using in these courts, or your own Congress. I mean, we know who's making the laws. It's attorneys that's making these laws. So these are things we need to start checking. You know, obviously people are not requiring or making these laws up. You know, the common, we the people. So we need to really start thinking about these terms, really breaking them down, and really getting an understanding of where they're coming from and who's referencing them. You know, because a lot of them, when you look in your so-called codes, your state codes, the codes actually break down their own definition, even though they got a little concrete base where they come off. It's called the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code. But see, we got to realize what the Uniform Commercial Code is. That's commercial law, period, point blank. So how you going to be a sovereign and you're doing commerce? Go look at the Foreign Immunities Act. It actually states in there that if you conduct any commerce, you're waiving your rights as a sovereign citizen. If you want to go there, you know, and them are terms, we got to look at those. A citizen, what is a citizen? You know, and I didn't even look that up. Well, I didn't have it on my list, but I'll look it up for you, because a citizen